All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the very first episode of the Self-Nominated podcast. I'm your host, Kyle, along with my co-host, Aaron here. Say what's up, Aaron.
What up? What's up?
So we actually created Self-Nominated as a platform for people to come join in on the conversation, talk about the businesses they may have started or had to reinvent as a result of the pandemic, or people want to come on here and just rant about some bullshit at the job that made them quit and start their own thing. That is completely fine too. We love stories about people not taking shit anymore, so we're going to get all that in here on this podcast. And so Aaron, what do you think about this? We got to add.
It's about to be salacious. It's about to be ignorant off the hook.
So just to get started here, y'all. So my name is Kyle. I'm actually from San Jose, California. So Northern California, Bay Area. That's where I was born and raised, currently reside. And Aaron is actually my cousin. And Aaron, why don't you tell them a little bit about where you're from, Mr. Motown?
Well, yeah, see, Kyle from the hood. See, I'm from the high class. He said, Mr. Motown. I'm from Detroit. We high class out there.
Yeah. We'll leave that there. No, it's all love. It's all love. We love Detroit.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. Actually, it's been coming up, man. I was back there recently. The downtown area is really something to see. But I don't want to get sidetracked with that, In any case, but that's where I'm from. And like Kyle was saying, we wanted to make a platform for people to come on and just talk about their reinvention, how they've had to pivot. They've had to pivot with their businesses to survive during this pandemic. This is unprecedented times. Unprecedented. I know big words. I went to Detroit. I went to public school, but I know some big words.
Shit. No, but in all seriousness, yeah, we wanted to start a conversation, especially, everybody out there that's had to lose their jobs or, that were laid off or like you said, Aaron, that had to start their own business or to reinvent a business they've already had just to stay afloat, just to survive. Because we know that EDD wasn't covering anything really if you have a big family or children or anything like that. So this is definitely going to be a place where people come tell their stories, inspire others. Maybe for our listeners, they'll inspire you to get into some of the same industries, and you can learn from people, and they're going to tell us how they did it, starting from step one, most of them, with no money really, with less than a couple $100, we're able to start a business. So it's going to be real informative, real educational, and real unfiltered. So stay tuned for that.
and really real, in case we didn't make that clear, just, it's going to be really real.
Absolutely. But I want to hear people that, like, oh, I'm sick of my boss's shit, so I quit and started my own thing because I had time during the pandemic. So you're definitely going to get stories like that. Just real unfiltered stories like Aaron was saying. And that's pretty much how this was built. So anything you wanted to add, Aaron?
Yeah, let what I want to kind of tell people a little about my background real quick. Because truly it was a story. This whole thing comes from our experience, for the better part of the last 20 years, I've worked in entertainment, most specifically casting. So I've done a lot of casting for TV, commercials, anything, you name it. And when this pandemic hit, forget it. Casting a situation where you see 100 people a day, especially in commercial casting. And you're in close contact with people. You're directing them through the audition. And once this COVID-19 became real, it shut the whole industry down. And a week turned to 2 weeks, two weeks turned to 4 weeks, 4 weeks turned to 2 months.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem like there was any end in sight, you know? So, you know, really just didn't know what to do in that interim. You know, I was trying to ride it out. But as you know, as a freelancer, we were the last people to be able to get any kind of EDD, you know, because that wasn't approved right away.
That's
You
right.
know, for us to get unemployment. So kind of just like, I don't even really know what I did at the time. I mean, I had some sort of money saved up. I lost a lot of weight, which, as you can see, I gained it back. But but yeah, so a friend of mine that was actually managing one of the studios my office was at, he called me about financial services. And when he first called me, initially I had COVID. You know, quite frankly, I had COVID. I was laid up in bed, and I didn't get over COVID right away. It took me 5 weeks to get over. It really shut me down.
Damn.
5 weeks. Tell me about it. Actually, you know what? I think I was, from the time I tested positive to the time I tested negative, was like 24, 25 days. You know, I think I tested
God
positive on
damn.
this. I know. But even though I tested negative, I still felt terrible for another 2 weeks. So, nonetheless, I told him, I said, man, when I get through this COVID thing, I want to hear what all this is about because you're my boy. And I was going to give him that audience. And then,
Sure.
yeah, you know, so what it was retirement saving strategies, you know, planning for the future, you know, life insurance, and involve getting your license from the state. So I thought it was actually the kind of material. I mean, who doesn't want to retire? You know what I mean?
Nobody.
You know, no, I
Nobody.
mean, oh, well, who wants to work every day of your life, the rest of your life?
I wanted to retire at 21. Look at this
Man,
shit already.
I used to have those stupid fantasies of like doing something crazy and being rich by 25 and just
Right.
like retiring, traveling the world. I used to think that those kinds of
But it is doable. It's doable, you know.
It's doable. It's doable. I didn't do it. I guess next year, if I by my next birthday, if I'm like at that point, I guess I will have done it by the time I'm 25. You might be right.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, we'll stick with that.
So, but getting back to the whole thrust of the story here is that basically, once I started, you know, really delving into it, I was like, I like this. You know, this is the kind of thing I can see myself doing. Plus, just the knowledge that I think everybody should have. You know, being financially literate should not be something that's just relegated to the 1%ers, 5%ers, or 10%ers. Everybody owes it to themselves to be knowledgeable. So, fortunately, when you and I spoke after, I don't know, like you said, maybe it's probably about a year and 2 or 3 months. I don't think we had really, I don't know, maybe some text messages, emails, perhaps. I don't know.
Right.
But when we spoke, I was like, man, see, Kyle had a dream job. Why don't you tell him about? I mean, I like my job. Don't get me wrong, but I think your job was just as fascinating,
Oh man.
if not more so in some ways. So please, you got to share that with them.
Oh yeah. So just real quick, I originally called you because I was congratulating Aaron on a TV show he was working on. So it was syndicated on 3 or 4 major networks and
Oh
overseas
yeah.
and things like that. So that was the first time I talked to you, maybe in a year or so, and you asked me what I had been doing. So for those of y'all that don't know, I was working at a flying car company here in the Silicon Valley. So just picture, you know, the Jetsons and flying cars. That's pretty much what it looked like. Long story short, the pandemic hit, and the company, you know, probably rightfully so, decided, there wasn't really going to be a market for this, at least anytime soon, when we're at the point where there was no ending in sight. And a lot of our positions in my department were very customer facing, pilot training, things of that nature that couldn't really be done remotely. There's a lot of hands on training involved and safety measures to be taken. So we ultimately were shut down. But I was always interested, in business. That's what I went to school for, and finances and things like that. And me and Aaron's first conversation in a year was talking about getting into the financial industry and the financial services. And he got me hooked up to where, I was able to get my financial advisor's license from the state within 2 to 3 weeks. And long story short, we were able to create our own financial firm where we help individuals and families now, and that's what we do. And this business started with about $200. So that's another point of this podcast, to show people there are ways to work for yourself, to start businesses, and to generate income for $200-300 out of your own pocket. So that's our main objective here, is to teach people how to do these things, not just in the financial industry, but in every industry. So we're going to have guests on from, many industries. You're going to see, event spaces, solar roofing, clothing, like you name it. And these people are going to tell us how they started with little to no money, and how everybody can do it and go step by step. And they're going to share the moments that kind of made the light bulb go off in their head, saying, I need to do some shit for myself. And mostly, these people or individuals were able to do this starting off in the pandemic or shortly after it had started. So it's just to say that, success is achievable. It can be done, and you don't have to, work for anybody if you don't have your dream job. Some people have their 9 to 5, just their dream job. It doesn't feel like work. But I know a lot of people personally, if they had the chance to work for themselves, then they would do that. And that's something that we want to offer as well. If, the people that do come here and hear these great stories, but they're not sure what they want to do or how they want to get started,
Right.
Aaron and I offer individuals to, potentially work with us in our financial firm that we have started. And we work with, some of the best senior brokers in the nation, really. Very reputable. We only work with A-rated firms. So it's definitely an opportunity that, we will be extending to our listeners. And you can find more information about that when you go to selfnominated.com, and there's a Google form there, that you can fill out if you're interested in becoming a business partner of ours or working at our own firm. Or we'll even show you how to start your own. And all of these services are complimentary. So we don't, charge anybody. We want people to be inspired, want people to learn, want people to grow. So those services are complimentary if you wish to, you know, to take a chance and come on board with us if you want to get into the financial industry. But like I said, there'll be many people in our interviews here that'll be in various industries that'll also be sharing how to get into those for little to no money, and how to start, for free, or at least on the cheap side of things, without trying to get a loan from the bank or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so that's pretty much how we
Even
got
if,
how we got into that. Oh, go ahead, Aaron.
yeah, no, even if even if if you're just curious about what it looks like on the partner side, you should come over to the website, check it out. And uh maybe it's not for you, but it's definitely, I'll say, I got as a creative, the kind of individual I was, I definitely didn't think it was anything I'd be interested in. But surprised myself. So definitely give it a, come in, approach it with an open mind. Let me say it like that. And
Oh,
then some of
absolutely.
you, yeah, and then some people, might be interested on the client side. Maybe you want to get something set up, for a head start for your kids, college education fund. There's a myriad of different products that me and Kyle can get into with you guys at a later juncture. But there's also stuff like we have on our website. If you need, maybe you've overextended yourself with credit cards, or you have debt piling up with the IRS, we can help you with those kinds of services as well. So yeah, definitely go to the website. And then lastly, another reason to go to the website, if you have a business success story, right? If you guys want to be featured here on this podcast, um, we'd love to hear what your story is,
Absolutely.
because we want to find the different businesses to bring on here and talk about and highlight and feature. We want to talk about you, not in a bad way, in a good way.
Oh no, in a good way. We, like we said, we want to unfilter. We want to hear what, when that moment was, when the light
Right.
bulb went off, or what made you so fed up where you're like, you know what, forget this shit. I need to do something for myself. And what made you go for it?
That's
Whether it
right.
was, you have kids and that inspired you, or if you just couldn't take it anymore at a particular job that you were at, or whatever the story is. We want to hear it, especially if it's inspiring and it can be, shared with others to help others, out of the same similar situations. So just to summarize, I would say there's three main points other than this podcast that you can come to our website for. So number one is we can help you with your financial services, with whether what that is, rollovers, um you want to protect yourself or your family, you want to do index strategies, things that that don't, there's no risk of loss involved, but you're able to grow money, or you want to set something up, for a child to have money, later on, with no tax penalties or anything like that. We specialize in those type of strategies. And number two, if you want to, become a business partner and want us to show you how to start your own financial firm, or even just operate as an individual, that's fine. So, and both of these things, either as a client or as a partner, they're free. So we don't charge anybody with fees, hidden fees, agent fees,
Right.
nothing like that. So anything that anybody invests, it's 100% their money. We just, it's like we just
That's
get bonuses from a brokerage firm. Like, oh, you help these people out, well, here's your bonus for that. So the client's money is always the client's money. There's no 10% agent fee, 10% brokerage fee. No, none of that. So your money is your money, and we are backed by, some of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in the industry, all A-rated firms. So
And let's say this. Let's just point out that we're not looking for the one percenters. We're looking for average folks, guys.
mhm.
You might have thought up to this point in your life that, man, I don't have money to invest in, or this stuff sound. What are they talking about? Yeah, it's really not that complicated, and you don't need to be. You don't need to be in the highest tax bracket to appreciate the services that we have.
Right, now that's a very good point, Aaron. So yeah, it's number one, client side. Number two, business partner side. And number three is, to come and share stories. So there's Google Forms on our website for all three of these different things. And feel free to take advantage of all three of them. We're gonna touch base with you guys, and either us or people from our team will reach out, to help the folks out there that are interested. But if for nothing, just, come for the podcast, for the interviews, and for the people that made something out of nothing during the hardest times in their life. So it's definitely going to be a good thing to see here. So we appreciate everybody that's going to come through. And Aaron, any final thoughts from you?
I need to sound dignified. I need to sound educated. I'll just say, you never know what you don't know. You know.
What? No, I'm just messing with them, y'all. But yeah, no. If you need any assistance with financial services, or you would like to start your own business for little to no money, we can show you how to do that. And we hold company overviews as well. So for our firm, we do overviews every Tuesday and Saturday. We're either a senior broker or a director will speak and break everything down with visuals, to touch on
Sure.
more than what we've talked about here. So just
Sure.
fill out these Google forms for whatever you're interested in, and either us or people from our team will be in touch with you guys. And make sure to definitely fill out those business success stories as well. That's what's going to help other people as well, and inspire other people, and show people step by step that they can start their own company, really, for little to no money, and end up leaving that job you spend 40 hours a week at.
Absolutely.
So everybody
Absolutely.
everybody that we're going to talk to, including ourselves, we're able to generate 40 hours a week, income with sometimes a few hours a week. um,
Absolutely.
so definitely just, and we want to share what we've done with everybody else, because this is stuff that we've learned and have been able to do just over the last year, very short period of time. So, and if we can do it, and we've achieved this so far, we know we can help others do it as well. And we're just fortunate to be able to have other people scheduled to come on that have been able to do the same thing, but in various different industries. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that's I think that's my time for now. Aaron, if you don't have nothing else, thank y'all for watching the first, very short introduction episode. But stay tuned for our guests. We'll be putting those out soon, and we'll see you guys later.
Begin with the end in mind. Peace.
Peace out.